In the silent corridors of our minds, we often stumble upon truths that we are not ready to face. Among these, the intricate dynamics of male and female psychology stand out as a labyrinth many wander into, only to find themselves ensnared by misconceptions. We must confront these truths not with bitterness, but with the quiet strength of a Stoic. It is through understanding and embracing these harsh realities that we attain mastery over ourselves, building fortitude in a world that delights in testing our resolve. 1. The facade of desire. In the realm of human interaction, there's a tendency to project our ideals onto others, assuming that what is desired is simple and straightforward. Men often fall into the trap of believing that women's desires are transparent, guided solely by the virtues of character, integrity, and kindness. However, this perception is often a mirage, a facade that conceals a more complex reality. Epictetus, in his examination of the human mind, cautioned us, saying, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them." Women, like all humans, are not immune to the allure of what society deems valuable status, power, and the illusion of security. These desires can sometimes overshadow the deeper qualities they may consciously seek. The facade is not an intentional deceit, but a reflection of the conflicting nature within us all. We say we desire depth and virtue, yet we are drawn to the glitter of the superficial. This is not to disparage women, but to acknowledge a fundamental aspect of human psychology. Stoics, our approach to this realization is one of quiet acceptance and introspection. We understand that desire, by its nature, is often layered and multifaceted. The pursuit of virtue does not guarantee that others will value it as we do. Marcus Aurelius reminds us the universe's change our life is what our thoughts make it. Hence, we do not place our worth in the shifting sands of external validation. We refine our own character for its own sake, not to fulfill another's expectation or to conform to a desired facade. In recognizing the facade of desire, we arm ourselves with the knowledge that true contentment is found not in being the object of another's longing, but in the mastery of our own desires. We do not chase the mirage, we become the oasis, self-contained, unwavering, and serene in the knowledge that our value is not defined by the transient desires of others. 2. The illusion of stability. In our quest for certainty, we seek stability in relationships, believing that the affections and connections we form can stand as unshakable pillars in the chaos of life. We convince ourselves that love, once found, will remain as it was in its inception, a constant, unwavering force. Yet this belief is but an illusion, a mirage in the desert of human experience. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, offers us a stark reminder: the universe's change our life is what our thoughts make it. Women, like all beings, are subject to the ebb and flow of emotions, desires, and circumstances. Their affections, too, are not immune to the impermanence that defines our existence. What seemed once stable can transform in the face of time, revealing the fluid nature of human attachment. This is not to say that women are unreliable or capricious, but rather to recognize that the human heart is a complex and ever-changing entity. To expect unyielding constancy is to misunderstand the very nature of life. For us, the Stoic path does not involve lamenting this truth, but accepting it with quiet dignity. We understand that the illusion of stability is a creation of our own minds, a yearning for a permanence that life does not offer. In accepting that relationships, like all things, are subject to change, we free ourselves from the chains of false security. We do not anchor our peace to the shifting sands of external affections, but root it firmly within ourselves. Epictetus advises, make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens. We cannot control the emotional tides of others, we can only control how we respond to them. Thus, we build an inner fortress, an unwavering state of mind that does not depend on the stability of external circumstances. In recognizing the illusion, we do not become detached or indifferent, but grounded and self-reliant. This understanding liberates us. We cease to fear the inevitable changes that may come, whether in relationships or elsewhere. Instead, we embrace the transient nature of life, knowing that our true strength lies not in the permanence of others' affections, but in the constancy of our own inner resilience. We stand not as beggars for stability, but as masters of our own hearts, unshaken by the world's ever-changing nature. 3. The test of strength. In the delicate dance of relationships, there is an unspoken evaluation that takes place, a probing of one's character and a silent measuring of fortitude. Women, consciously or unconsciously, test the strength of the men they encounter. It is not a mere quest for physical prowess, but an assessment of the strength that lies beneath the resilience, the integrity, the unwavering spirit that does not falter in the face of adversity. This is the test of strength, a trial that many men learn of only when they find themselves confronted by Seneca. In his wisdom, asserted, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." Women, by nature, often seek a partner who can stand as a pillar amidst the storms of life, someone who embodies the Stoic resolve to face challenges head-on. This instinctive testing is not meant to undermine or belittle, but to reveal the essence of who we truly are. It is in these moments of subtle testing that our true character is laid bare. Many men, in their pursuit of affection, crumble under this weight, mistaking it for unnecessary scrutiny. Yet a Stoic understands that these tests are opportunities, crucibles in which our metal is forged. We do not fear being tested, for we do not seek to impress or conform. Instead, we embody the strength of spirit that does not waver, regardless of external judgments. We remain steadfast, not out of arrogance, but out of a commitment to our own principles. Epictetus reminds us, difficulties are things that show a person what they are when we are tested. It is not a time for resentment or doubt. It is a chance to demonstrate our fortitude, to show that our strength is not for show, but is rooted deeply in our being. We do not crumble under pressure, nor do we bend to fit the mold others may wish to place upon us. We stand as we are strong, unyielding and true to ourselves. This strength is not loud or boastful. It is the quiet confidence of one who knows their worth, not because it is validated by others, but because it is inherent. We understand that real strength is found in self-control, in the mastery of our emotions, and in the ability to remain centered amidst chaos. The tests we face are not obstacles, but confirmations of our resilience. In recognizing the nature of these tests, we do not seek approval, but instead embrace the journey of proving ourselves to ourselves. We realize that the greatest victory is not in winning the favor of others, but in achieving mastery over our own hearts and minds. The test of strength is a mirror, reflecting back the depth of our character, and through it, we come to know the true power that lies within us. 4. The paradox of independence. Independence is a trait lauded by society, a symbol of strength and self-sufficiency. Women, especially in the modern age, are often drawn to men who exhibit this quality, who stand as lone wolves, unshackled by the need for validation or dependency. Yet within this admiration lies a paradox, one that many men come to understand only through the crucible of experience. The very independence that draws others in can also become the reason for distance, a source of tension and unease. Epictetus reminds us freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. In our pursuit of independence, we strive to be self-reliant, to derive our worth from within rather than from the external world. We cultivate a life where our happiness is not tethered to the whims of others, where our inner peace is untouched by the turbulence of relationships. This is the ideal of the Stoic: fortified, autonomous, and free from the chains of desire. However, independence, when perceived by others, especially women, can evoke a dual reaction. On one hand, it is magnetic, an embodiment of strength that stands in contrast to neediness or dependence. It signifies a man who is whole within himself, not seeking completion through another. But on the other hand, it can also be seen as aloofness, a detachment that raises questions of accessibility and emotional availability. The paradox is that while independence is admired, it can also be feared, mistaken for an unwillingness to connect on a deeper level. Marcus Aurelius noted, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Our independence, rather than being a barrier, is a testament to our inner work. It is not a wall to keep others out, but a foundation upon which true connection can be built. We do not wear our independence as armor to shield us from vulnerability, but as a natural state of being that allows us to engage with others without losing ourselves. In understanding this paradox, we navigate the delicate balance between autonomy and connection. We are not swayed by the fear of being misunderstood, nor do we alter our nature to fit the expectations of others. Instead, we embody the principle of interdependence, strong enough to stand alone, yet open enough to share our strength with others. This is not a contradiction, but a harmony that emerges from our acceptance of who we are. Do not fear losing our independence through connection, because we recognize that true independence comes from within. It is the freedom to be authentic, to engage with others without the need to possess or be possessed. In embracing this paradox, we show that our independence does not make us cold or distant, but allows us to love and connect without being bound. We offer what is most valuable, ourselves, whole and unafraid, without the need for validation or control. Thus, the paradox of independence becomes not a source of conflict, but a reflection of our mastery over ourselves. We are free, and in this freedom, we find the strength to be both solitary and deeply connected. We are independent, not in isolation, but in the truest sense masters of our own hearts, open yet unattached, giving yet self-contained. 5. The attraction to the elusive. There is a strange allure in what seems just out of reach, a magnetic pull toward the unknown and the mysterious. Women, like men, are drawn to what is elusive, what does not easily yield or conform. It is the nature of desire to be enticed by what cannot be easily possessed or fully understood. This attraction to the elusive is a harsh truth that many men come to learn, often too late, as they struggle to understand why the straightforward path of giving and receiving affection does not always lead to the desired outcome. In his writings, Epictetus speaks of desire and aversion, reminding us that freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. This principle is at the core of the allure of the elusive. What we cannot fully grasp or own retains its power over us because it remains beyond control, an enigma that stirs the imagination and the heart. The mind, seeking novelty and challenge, becomes fixated on what seems unattainable or fleeting. Women, in their attraction to the elusive, are not playing a game of deliberate manipulation. Rather, it is an unconscious response to the deeper psychological currents that drive human interaction. The elusive man, one who is not easily swayed by flattery or bound by the conventions of pursuit, becomes an object of fascination. It is not his aloofness that draws, but his embodiment of a principle that resonates with the Stoic ideal, a life not dictated by the pursuit of others' affections, but by a steadfast commitment to inner values and self-mastery. As students of Stoicism, do not cultivate elusiveness as a tactic or a means to attract. Our aim is not to play the role of the distant or the mysterious. Rather, our elusiveness is a byproduct of our self-sufficiency, our unwavering focus on the pursuit of virtue and inner tranquility. Marcus Aurelius writes, "Receive without conceit, release without struggle. We are not in the business of chasing or being chased, of conquering or being conquered. We exist in a state of serene independence, free from the need to be desired or understood." The attraction to the elusive then becomes a lesson in understanding human nature. It is not a strategy, but a reflection of how true independence and inner strength create an aura of mystery. We do not withhold ourselves to entice, we simply do not offer ourselves up for validation. Our lives are not a performance for others to decipher, but a journey of self-realization that we undertake with quiet resolve. In this truth, we are reminded of the power that comes from being grounded in ourselves. We do not become elusive to be pursued, but our refusal to be defined by others' desires or expectations. This is the silent allure of the Stoic, a presence that does not seek to impress, but leaves an indelible mark on those who encounter. Why, embodying this principle, we free ourselves from the need to be constantly seen or affirmed. We are content with our solitude, with our inner world that remains unperturbed by the shifting tides of attraction. The elusive quality is not a mask, but a testament to the depth of our character, to the life that is lived not for the approval of others, but for the cultivation of our own virtue and wisdom. In this we find a power that is both subtle and profound, a quiet strength that speaks louder than words or actions ever could. 6. The mirror of expectations. In the realm of relationships, we often become mirrors reflecting the expectations and desires of others. Women, like men, project their ideals, their hopes, and their dreams onto those they are drawn to. This projection creates an image, a version of ourselves that may not align with who we truly are. It is a subtle, often unconscious act, but it can lead to a disconnect between reality and perception, the harsh truth that many men grapple with only after the illusion shatters. Seneca wisely observed, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." The expectations others place upon us are often a construct of their minds, a tapestry woven from fragments of their desires and fears. As men, we are sometimes cast into roles we never sought to play: the savior, the provider, the unyielding rock. These roles, though flattering, can become burdens, distorting our true selves in the pursuit of fulfilling someone else's vision. The Stoic recognizes that to live according to others' expectations is to live a life not our own. Epictetus advises, "First say to yourself what you would be and then do what you have to do." This is the essence of our existence: to define ourselves, not to be defined by the projections of others. In relationships, this can be a challenging path to walk, as the desire to please and to be loved can tempt us to mold ourselves to fit another's ideal. But we must remember that living in the shadow of someone else's expectations is a form of self-betrayal. When we alter our essence to match the image someone else holds, we lose sight of our own path, our own values. It is not our duty to fulfill the roles others envision for us, but to remain steadfast in our authenticity. This is not an act of defiance, but one of self-preservation, a commitment to our inner truth. Women, in their pursuit of connection, may unknowingly create these mirrors of expectations, hoping to see reflected back the qualities they seek. Yet this reflection is but an illusion, a a mirage that fades when confronted with the reality of who we are. As Stoics, we do not strive to shatter these mirrors, but we do not become entrapped by them. We understand that we are not responsible for the images others create in their minds. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Our task is not to argue with or conform to the expectations placed upon us, but to live in accordance with our principles. We focus on being, not on appearing. In doing so, we may dispel the illusions and projections others cast upon us, revealing the true nature of our character. This realization is liberating. We are free from the need to conform, from the endless cycle of trying to meet expectations that are not our own. We find peace in the acceptance of ourselves, in the knowledge that we are not defined by the fleeting images others may hold. We exist as we are, whole, unbroken, and unafraid to be seen in our true form. Acceptance, we offer a different kind of reflection of strength, integrity, and authenticity. We become a mirror not of others' expectations, but of our own steadfast adherence to the Stoic virtues. This is the mirror that does not distort but reveals, that does not impose but liberates. It is a mirror that invites others to see us as we truly are, and in doing so, to see themselves with greater clarity. 7. The reality of self-interest. At the core of human interaction lies a truth that many are reluctant to acknowledge: the reality of self-interest. Women, like men, are driven by their own desires, needs, and ambitions. It is an inherent part of our nature to seek what serves us, to pursue what aligns with our own well-being and fulfillment. This is not a condemnation, but a recognition of a fundamental aspect of existence. Yet many men come to this understanding only after being ensnared in the illusion of selflessness and unconditional support. Seneca remarked, "Every man prefers belief to the exercise of judgment." In the throes of attraction and affection, it is easy to believe in the ideal of pure, unselfish love, to see in others a devotion that transcends personal interest. But Stoicism teaches us to observe the world as it is, not as we wish it to be. People act in accordance with their nature, guided by their own objectives. This is not a flaw, but a reality that we must accept if we are to navigate the complexities of relationships with wisdom and clarity. The Stoic does not condemn self-interest. Instead, we seek to understand it and its place within the fabric of human life. Epictetus advises, "Do not seek to have events happen as you wish, but wish them to happen as they do happen, and all will be well." We do not wish for others to act against their nature, nor do we expect them to place our needs above their own. This understanding allows us to engage with others without the naivety that leads to disappointment and resentment. Women, in their pursuit of what they desire, be it security, affection, or companionship, act from a place of self-interest, just as we do. It is not a sign of malice or selfishness, but a manifestation of the universal drive to seek what benefits us. The harsh truth is that we are often valued not for who we are, but for what we can offer: our strength, our resources, our ability to fulfill certain roles. Recognizing this does not diminish the potential for genuine connection, but it grounds us in the reality that such connections are often built upon a foundation of mutual benefit. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Remember that man lives only in the present. In this fleeting instant, all the rest of his life is either past and gone or not yet revealed." By understanding the reality of self-interest, we live in the present, free from the illusion that others will act against their own nature for our sake. We accept that relationships are, to some extent, transactional, built on the exchange of value and support. This acceptance does not make us cynical but wise, allowing us to engage with others from a place of strength and clarity. In embracing this reality, we learn to detach from the need for others to act in ways that serve us. We become self-reliant, deriving our sense of worth and purpose not from the roles we play in others' lives, but from our own inner virtues. This detachment does not mean we become isolated or unfeeling, but rather that we approach relationships with an understanding that is both compassionate and discerning. Not out of a need to be needed, but from a place of genuine choice and mutual respect. We offer what we can, understanding that others will take what aligns with their own interests. In this dynamic, we find a balance that is free from the chains of expectation and the sting of disillusionment. Thus, the reality of self-interest becomes not a harsh truth to be feared, but a fact of life to be embraced. We move forward with eyes open, hearts steady, and minds clear, navigating the complex interplay of human desires with the grace and fortitude of the Stoic. We are not surprised by the nature of others, nor are we swayed by it. We remain grounded in our own purpose, our own path, offering what we can while expecting nothing in return. In this we find true freedom, the freedom to be ourselves amidst a world driven by the pursuit of self. Understanding these truths about women is not about fostering distrust or cynicism. It is about embracing reality with the calm resolve of a Stoic. We do not fear the nature of things, nor do we resist it. We accept it, and in doing so, we find liberation. We recognize that our journey is not about changing others, but about transforming ourselves. We cultivate self-control, not to harden ourselves against the world, but to become resilient within it. We strive for fortitude, not to dominate others, but to master our own minds. The harsh truths about women serve as mirrors, reflecting back the areas where we must grow, where we must strengthen our resolve. We learn that it is not the external that determines our peace, but the internal. As Seneca wisely states, he who is brave is free, and so we become free, not by bending the world to our will, but by bending ourselves into the unbreakable form of a true Stoic.